Well, Brian, contrary to popular belief, the sky has not fallen yet, but I mean, a couple of days after a disastrous loss against Oregon State, it's still tough to put into words exactly what happened here on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it's still stunning to think that they actually lost that game. I mean, not the fact even just the fact they lost it, but the fact they were up 31-3 and lost it. I mean, Trayvon McMillan was about the 30-yard line when I was, all right, this one's over.
Yeah.
And suddenly it wasn't. And there's been a lot of reaction from fans. I think there's a lot of overreaction from fans, and a lot of talk of the Buffs taking their foot off the gas. And I don't necessarily think they did that. I think that I don't think the coaching staff did that. I don't think they got conservative with their play calling. They were still out there taking shots with the passing game and things like that. But I just think up 31-3, I think a lot of those guys got complacent and thought, well, this one's easy.
I don't know if Colorado fans are overreacting just because of the severity of that comeback. It's inexcusable what happened there.
Right.
But I mean, they're a 4-point underdog, so it's not like they're now all of a sudden have no chance to win a football game again this year.
Right, and that's where the overreaction is. I think that there's a lot of this team's never going to win again, things like that. I think you got to look at it in some different ways. I mean, Laviska Shenault could still come back and makes a big difference, and I don't think that anybody should discount the guys on this team. I mean, there's a lot of pride on those guys, and Steven Montez said some good things after the game. That I liked what he said after the game. That look, you get a collection of 17, 18 to 22-year-old guys, and we're all emotional. We all want to win, and I think that's going to be something that if those guys can band together, and I don't put it past them, they can come out and finish strong.
And Steven Montez also said it's key that we don't point fingers at this point. Steven Montez has come a long way as a leader since not being a named team captain. I talked to Rick Gamboa after practice today and was talking to him about that, and he praised Steven Montez for some of the leadership that he's had. Rick Gamboa said that the captains have talked to the team this week, so there's a conscious effort there. I mean, we're going to find out in the first half on Friday night exactly where the leadership is on this football team.
Yeah, we really are, and I agree with that. I love the way Steven's come along. I think that just hearing his words, there's a maturity there that hasn't been there in the past. And but yeah, we're going to find out a lot in the first half. I mean, this is a huge test for this team, and we're going to find out. There's all this talk of brotherhood and things like that all season. That it's easy to see when they're 5-0, and it's still even kind of easy to see when you lose at USC and Washington, because you're expected to lose those games, right?
And they didn't give up in those games.
And they didn't give up in those games, and they had a shot to win those games. They had a shot to win this one, but they were supposed to blow them away. This is the biggest test for this team right now, and the first half is going to tell us a lot on Friday night.
Going back to Saturday afternoon, we spent most of pretty much our whole reaction video talking about the collapse. Yeah. Kudos to Katie Nixon for not only the game he had, but in the post-game press conference, really emotional, puts the blame on himself, which he really shouldn't have had to do.
Yeah, and I get why he's saying that. I mean, there was a ball that went through his fingertips that could have been a touchdown, but that would have been a tough catch. It hit a fingertip of an Oregon State defender, which could have thrown him off. You can't blame Katie Nixon for that game. I mean, he had a fantastic game. One slips through his fingers. He's not the reason they gave up 38 points in the last 24 minutes of that game or whatever it was. Katie Nixon played a fantastic game, and it was definitely a collective effort. I think the bigger thing was the depletion of the secondary in that game, and you're already without Chris Miller for the year. You didn't play Delrick Abrams early in this game because he's coming off the injury. Wigley looked bad. Udofia started looking bad. You got to throw Abrams in there. Worthington gets hurt. Trago gets ejected. So you're playing safeties and nickelbacks that have never played significant snaps before. And Oregon State's quarterback, Jake Luton, I don't know where it came from, but all of a sudden looked like Aaron Rodgers out there.
And Evan Worthington's in concussion protocol, so we don't know what his situation is going to be for this week.
And Trago's out for the first half.
And Trago's out for the first half. So, we'll get into more Khalil Tate later. He's not Andrew Luck, but he had a really good game last Saturday, so we'll talk more about that. On the subject of the cornerbacks, ask Mike McIntyre about that today. And you can see he's clearly really frustrated with that unit.
Yeah, I mean, that's that's kind of his baby, right? And that's been his position group for years. And he prides himself on the cornerback play on this team, and it hasn't been good this year. Delrick's played pretty well. I thought Chris Miller played pretty well against Washington before he got hurt. But really, overall, it's not been great, and it's been exposed the last couple of weeks, and it was really exposed the other day.
We should talk about Laviska Shenault. McIntyre still says day-to-day. He did throw the word in there, hopefully. What did you take away from his comments there, if anything?
Yeah, I think they're going to play that same game until Laviska comes back. I mean, they're not going to reveal a whole lot, and I mean, the last thing they want to do is come out and say, "Yep, he's back," and let Arizona know he's definitely back. They want them to prepare for him no matter what, and so. He was in a walking booth the other day on Saturday again. I mean, you hope he comes back. I mean, for him, but for this team.
The walking boot looks bad, but sometimes it can be a guy that's kind of close to coming back, that it's more a precautionary type thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's out for the rest of the season or anything like that.
Right, and it could be for a guy that they knew was going to be on his feet for several hours.
Yeah.
Maybe just stay in the boot to kind of make it a little bit better. So yeah, I don't read too much into it, but yeah, it's certainly you hope he comes back.
I feel like we almost have to make two predictions, though, for Friday night. One, if Laviska plays, one, if he doesn't, because obviously he's that big of a difference maker for this program. One other note of news to come out of Monday's practice, Chris Bounds, tight end, has taken a leave of absence from the program. That leaves the bus very thin at tight end. Brady Russell, obviously, is your number one option there, but Darion Jones, now it's an interesting situation here. He's played in 3 football games.
Right.
What do you do with him? Because you really want – I had a coach on the staff tell me over the summer that when the light finally turns on for Darion Jones, he's going to be really good. Well, You'd hate to see him play a bit role this year and then only have one more year of eligibility left.
Yeah, because I don't think that light's on yet for him. No. And there's some walk-on tight ends they could use. Bo Bishrak could be an option, but not this week because it sounds like he injured some ribs the other day. So I don't know how bad he is, but maybe you throw Bo in there to try to save that red shirt for Darion Jones. Maybe just try to get through just having Brady Russell. But they're down to 2 scholarship tight ends, which for a team that doesn't throw to him very much, that's still not a good thing.
Or if you get Laviska Shenault back, that kind of maybe solves the issue there too.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to be back later in the week to preview the Arizona game.